Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your kind of stock watch list, mostly market talk for tomorrow, Tuesday, the 6th of August. Our channel was on a little hiatus, but we're back now, and what a day to return on. Big move down in the markets today. Fear hitting the markets today as the trade wars heat up tonight, right after the bell. Moments ago, this coming out from CNBC. U.S. Treasury designates China as a currency manipulator. Here was the SPY. We kind of got this short covering. This is an intraday 5-minute chart of the SPY pre-post market chart. So we got this kind of intraday bounce into the close tonight, and then slowly started to bleed off in the after hours. And then this news hit from CNBC here, and the market straight down. Now, this green line here is equal to the 200 SMA off the daily chart. So here we are right back testing the 200 SMA again on the daily chart of the SPY in the after hours. As you can see, bulls are trying to hold that area around that 278 area in the after hours. So we'll see on that. But this is what's moving the markets down. Here's your futures. They opened up at 6 o'clock. So the Dow futures currently are indicating to drop 300 points. The S&P 500 minus 29, and the Nasdaq currently down 82 in the opening of the futures. Now it's early in the session. The futures opened up at 6. It's 24 minutes after 6 p.m. Eastern time, and but right now it's looking ugly in the beginning of the session in the overnight futures. So as you can imagine, big sea of red today in the markets. Nobody really buying much of anything, not even worth going over. But if you've been looking for a dip, and I'm not saying for you to go out and buy the dip right now, but if you had your heart set on, some Apple or Microsoft, or, a little bit of Amazon or Google or something, Facebook or whatever your stock that you're looking at, keep your eye on it, all right? Start building up that kind of wish list. Stocks are dropping pretty fast and furious here. So if you ever wanted to grab a little bit of Apple and you didn't want to pay up for it, now it's down here at 193 and maybe lower tomorrow. Now, do not fill your whole position. Maybe you take a little quarter position, something like that. Now, videos are educational purpose only, not telling you what to do. But if you've been looking to get in on a dip in the markets, keep your eye on your favorites. Could be the time coming up. The fear and greed index. Now we are getting a little bit oversold, right? And I'll show you the daily chart of the SPY in a little bit. We're kind of around this 23 spot. We're not, we're in this extreme fear. We're not, all the way down to 0 or 7, which I've seen in the past. But we are around 23, and the markets have fallen pretty quickly. So we are kind of oversold a little bit here. So maybe we get a little bit of a reprieve, bounce. We'll see tomorrow. I'm sure most traders are looking for a gap down morning. We'd pretty much all love to have that for tomorrow. We'll see what the market wants to offer us for the open for tomorrow. So right now, Bitcoin has been a flight to safety. There's protests going on in Hong Kong, so maybe a way to get your money out of China and Hong Kong through Bitcoin. So kind of a flight to to Bitcoin here. So we've moved up in a hurry off that 9,000 area. This is a daily chart from TradingView. Off that 9,000, we've popped up. We even got up to, I believe it was 12,000 today. But I didn't see much of the crypto stocks doing much at all today. So some of your top gainers today, this courtesy of the trade exchange. There were some stocks moving up today. This ALLK was just unbelievable. The move that it made, it was up, I think, 150% or something like that. So ALLK, MDWD, ATEC. We also had YTEN up. Tyson had earnings today, so that stock held up today. And then, as you can imagine, a lot of stocks were getting hit today. This GLYC took a beating today on that name, down about 69% on that name. So, I didn't do a Sunday video. But for tomorrow, for Tuesday, normally we go through all the economic information on the Sunday video. I'll just give you Tuesday. You can kind of see it. You can pause the video to see the trade exchange calendar here. You do have some Fed speak at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, James Bullard, and then you have Fed speak on Wednesday the 7th at 9:30. The thing about this calendar that's pretty nifty, if you click where in the green where it says earnings, it gives you a listing of all the earnings for each and every day before and after hours. So that's courtesy of the trade exchange. So you might want to check that out. I'll put that down in the comments section for you, and you can have that link from the trade exchange for their calendar. So earnings, we had SHAK come out after the bell. We'll get more into that in a moment. Tyson was this morning. Lowe's came out with earnings this morning. You have Disney coming out with earnings after the bell tomorrow. Wynn will be reporting. Blue Apron reports before the bell. Chesapeake Energy. And then as we go further into the week, you get a cannabis name before the open on Thursday. Cronus Group. ROKU was actually green today. Their earnings are Wednesday after the bell for ROKU. Booking Holdings, that's the old Priceline. Lyft will be reporting earnings after the bell on Wednesday. Uber comes up to bat on Thursday after the bell for Uber. So still, quite a few earnings coming out. Maybe not the big names like the weeks prior, but still some significant names coming out. This courtesy of Earnings Whisper. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight. And I'll go ahead and drag that into the shot real fast. So, we'll go through some of the news. Now, once again, this news courtesy of the Trade Exchange. They do audio news throughout the day. If you're looking for a very reasonable priced audio service and visual service for news, you may want to check them out. All right. So if you don't want to pay huge bucks for a news service, Trade Exchange is pretty competitively priced and a pretty good news service. I use them in my service at Zozo StockWatch, and fast news, very fast news. All right, so let's go ahead and check out some of this news that came out after the bell. This little LONE, it was up. LONE was up in the after hours. Let's see, announces second quarter 2019 financial results and increases 2019 guidance. So LONE, it's an oil and gas name. A beaten down name here if you can kind of see the daily chart, but popping up a little bit in the after hours tonight. PODD, they had earnings. This stock is moving up after hours. Stock closed at 117, currently trading at 130 on PODD. Let's see, we also had SHAK came out with earnings. They may had some kind of news with Groupon earlier in the day, but SHAK popping up in the after hours, kind of bleeding a little bit lower. Closed at 73, currently at 75. Earnings per share beat by 7 cents. Revenue beat there. TTWO. Now, President Trump came out and made comments on the video games. He made a speech about the unfortunate shootings in at the Walmart in Ohio. But anyway, he kind of mentioned the video game stocks as maybe being a source for some of the mass shootings. Agree, don't disagree. It's not my reason I'm mentioning this, but they were driving down today. But then TTWO raises full year guidance. So this stock closed at 115-ish and currently trading up $7 in the after hours on that one. None of the others are really bouncing. Electronic Arts took a hit today. Right about here, 10 o'clock is when they got mentioned. And as you can see, they were selling off from the Trump comments. And anyway, but TTWO moving up in the after hours tonight. Let's see what other news that we have tonight after the bell. We had NPTN had earnings per share beat by 5 cents, but a revenue miss. NPTN, smaller price stock, closed at 432, but they popped it up to over $5 here in the after hours. A semiconductor name holding up pretty well. NPTN in the after hours tonight. Let's see, what else did we have? ALLK announces a proposed public offering of a stock on their stock. ALLK, can't say I blame them, right? If you do an offering, today's the day to do it. So this stock, right from the open, it jumped from 35, $40 all the way up to over $70 today. Then in after hours, coming out 200 million in shares for a offering on ALLK. Really not hurting the stock too bad at the moment in the after hours. ENDP beat by 5 cents. Revenue beat there on that name. Let's see, what else do we have as far as DOOR earnings per share missed by 6 cents. Revenue miss after the bell tonight. And that's pretty much it. Let's see, BKEP, they receives buyout offer from Ergon, I guess it is, BKEP. So this stock was ticking up in the after hours tonight. Doesn't normally get a lot of volume, but perking up in the after hours. So maybe keep an eye on that one. And then here was the comments that came out from U.S. Treasury Mnuchin. China designates China as a currency manipulator. So that's the news courtesy of the Trade Exchange, built for traders by traders. And let's go ahead and look at the SPY and the damage. Now we're even lower than that now in the after hours, as I mentioned. So basically we're down here at the 200 SMA on the, sorry for all these lines, but they're all pretty important to me. But right now we're at this 200 SMA in the after hours. Don't know if it's going to be a holding point, a bouncing point, but that's where we are. And considering the oversold conditions, stair step pattern up, right, and then the elevator down. So it didn't take much to drive us all the way back down to the 200 SMA. So as far as the VIX today, not the things, if you're bullish, that you want to see making these huge percentage moves, right? You got the VIX up almost 40% on the day. Gold was up quite a bit today. We were swing trading at the service some gold stocks, so we got a nice pop in some of the gold stocks today. JNUG up 13%, Nugget up 9% on the day. To the downside, a lot of things were down today. I'm not going to go through them all, but if you want to pause the video and see that for yourself, a lot of stuff down 4 or 5% today. So, big hits in a lot of things. Let's just take a look at oil real fast. Light sweet crude oil currently closing at 55.66. So holding above 55, but back below, all the moving averages here for XO. Light sweet WTI oil. So if you look at the ETF or light sweet WTI, the USO, right now threatening maybe to break down below 11 here on that ETF, and kind of just back below the 200 SMA here. Weakness again. There's a glut of oil out there, and so that's keeping, even with the Iran tensions going on, oil still moving down on the trade talk fears. Let's see what else. So that's pretty much, a lot of the news. And then right now we're in a, stocks suffer the worst day of the year, with the Dow Jones finally closing at 767, minus 767. But if we open down again tomorrow, we'll be down 1,000 points in 2 days on the Dow. The transports were down 334, the NASDAQ down 278, and the S&P 500 was minus 87. Disney has earnings after the bell on Tuesday. I mentioned that. We talked about the gamers. TSN had earnings. That one actually held up today. TSN, Tyson Foods. This stock, big volume coming in, a big pop in Tyson. Popped up right at the open, kind of bled off into the close after their earnings, but relative kind of strength to the market there. So it's a headline tweet driven market. Any tweet now or any headline, is being taken seriously. It's not being ignored now by the market, right? It takes a down day, and then everybody starts paying attention to the China-U.S. Trade talks. So that's pretty much, we're in a headline-driven market. The market suffers the worst day of the year. But, like I say, if you've been waiting for a pullback in your favorite stocks, make that wish list, and maybe you start buying a little bit gradually. Once again, this video is just for educational purposes only. Anything I say, take it with a grain of salt, and any trade is your personal trade. All right. So let's see, as far as, sector performance for the day, let's take a quick look. So you had the XLK technology down 4%, a lot of 4XOP down 4%. After that, a lot of things, XLF down 3% for the day. Nothing really green today at all. Everything pretty much down. And, I'm not going to go into too many stocks tonight. Some things I'm watching, right? I'll be watching Apple for a possible bounce, watching Microsoft for a possible bounce too. Strong names. Tesla has been, let's check, let me put it in after hours here. Tesla is at 225.30. If they break this 50 SMA, but which maybe they have in the after hours here, let's see, the 50 SMA on Tesla at 224.92, and we're at 225.30. So if this 50 SMA, you see the battle going on here on the daily chart. If this breaks, who knows, maybe we push back down to about that 200 round number there on TSLA. But, if these are some that you've been looking to get into, keep an eye on that one. APHA, by the way, the CEO we'll be on Kramer tonight. I'm not sure exactly what time. Looks like it's kind of ticking up here in the after hours. They had good earnings last week. The stock hanging in there. So this is one that I'll have on my watch list. APPS. This was popping in the after hours tonight. APPS, maybe one that you want to keep an eye on. Now, you notice I'm not giving you numbers because I don't know how this market is going to be opening tomorrow. PKEP popped up a little bit in the after hours. Maybe there's something there. We'll see on that one. Doesn't get a lot of volume, so we'll see. CLDR, this one actually, it popped up quite a bit here. Now we're pulling back to the 5 EMA. You got Carl Icahn, I believe, is in this stock. So let's see if there's any bounce in CLDR. DRRX, very strong name here. Maybe we get some kind of a pullback, a red to green reversal move in this name for tomorrow and the next couple of days on DRRX IMGN. A beaten down name here, but 4.7 million shares, was green on the day today. A nice move up here, getting above some of these moving averages. A lot of work to do yet on the daily chart, but IMGN, popped and held the gains throughout the day. ITCI had news this morning. It popped up. It's up on the day. Volume 1.3 million shares, so we'll see if there's something there for tomorrow. MGI, relative strength today. MGI, volume 2.5 million shares. We'll be watching. This one has that $3 area that it's been trying to get above and hold above, so keep an eye on that. NPTN, I don't know if they're going to like this one tomorrow, but they like it right now, so we'll see if it wants to make a move for tomorrow. Overstock hanging in there on the daily chart. Now here's a stock that you would have thought would have dropped quite a bit today, but it just pulled back to the 10 SMA, and the dip buyers came in and bought it and pushed it up. Was green for the day. Overstock, keep an eye on it. Pins had earnings recently, and this gapped up, this earnings gap here, holding above the earnings gap, showing good strength here on PINS. Let's see, SNAP, Snap, pulling back to the 20 SMA. Twitter had earnings last Friday. That one is trying to, hold that $40 area on Twitter. Roku remained green today on Roku. And sorry about that. TC2000 was having a little bit of an issue there, a little lag in the charts. But anyway, Roku was green today, but I see it kind of drifting down here in the after hours on Roku. SHAK, like we said, they had earnings after the pill tonight, so we'll see if this wants to do anything tomorrow. I guess TVIX, right? We'll keep an eye on TVIX, or if you like the SDS, TZA, or keep your eye on TZA here. So that might want to make a move up, or the SDS, the inverses. And then lastly, maybe this VFF, was having a decent day today. Volume, though, not that much volume in VFF. So, but I'll have it on watch, and maybe Cronus Group and some of the cannabis names. Let's check out APHA if that's moving up. Popped up a little bit from Kramer, I guess, talking with the CEO, but not a big move up on APHA. All right, folks, this is Mike. So, keep your powder dry. Don't be in a rush to do anything. If you do buy something, go in gradually right now. We don't know where the bottom's going to be. This China trade talk, U.S. trade talk with China, this could be hanging over the markets for a while. Doesn't look like there's going to be any quick solution to it, so we'll have to play it accordingly. And we are in probably the worst months going ahead for the market, right? August, September, October, not the best quarter for the markets, so keep that in mind. So swing trades might be, very sporadic. Day trading, volatility is always good for us day traders, and we'll go from there. All right, hope everyone has a good day trading tomorrow. We'll be back at it with another video. video for tomorrow night, and glad to be back, but it was nice to have a little bit of a respite away from the markets. All right, everybody, see you tomorrow. Have a good day trading. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com.